Welcome. I'm Halcyon, and this is Hug Nation. Today I want to talk about containers. The containers of spaces, the containers of human beings, of community. I know you were thinking, really? We're going to talk about Tupperware? Well, perhaps. Perhaps we will talk about Tupperware if there's time, but I am talking about the magic that can happen within a space when there is agreements or understandings. And the more that I think about my life and the more that I've been thinking about what is important to me, what my art is, what some of my gifts are to share, a lot of it has to do with creating containers, whether that is a container of a Burning Man camp, whether that is a container of a gratitude circle, the container of a men's group. There is something that happens when you have agreements and expectations of people when they're there. It's one of the things I learned the most from Burning Man. When you go to Burning Man, you go through a gate, and there is ritual through the process of going through the gate. And when you're within the circle, you agree to the 10 principles, and you agree to a whole different social contract than you would in the default world. I remember Danger Ranger saying in a video that I saw many years ago, he said that what we have literally drawn a line in the sand, and within this line, we have agreed to a different set of rules. And that is one of the reasons why I have so much hesitancy about the experience of going out to the Black Rock Desert this year that many people are doing, because it is not a container. It is a shared plan, but there is no line drawn in the sand. There is no agreement that when you cross into that space that you have agreed to certain rules. And so as I've been speaking to people recently about men's groups or about social groups or about retreats or about coaching groups, one thing that you will notice is that there needs to be a container. There needs to be a space that you understand what is expected of you when you're there, what kind of interactions are appropriate, what kind of behavior, what level and depth of intimacy, how conflict might be dealt with, who has authority, how you bring up things that are problematic or changes that you might like, how much you are empowered to make changes to things, how much things are to be agreed to, and it is when you have that container where you can feel safe and you can start to let down your guard and you can stop pretending or guessing what is expected of you or trying to pretend to be the person that you should be, and within the rules and within the agreements, get to a place where you can allow yourself to be and feel safe in that. That is when magic happens. That is when the magic happens at Burning Man, when people feel that they are allowed, they are given permission to be brilliant and creative and weird. And I think the same thing happens in a coaching container or even a party. There's a big difference between a party where people just show up and a party where there is guidelines and rules and dress codes and themes. And sometimes at the best of parties, I think, there even are opening circles and sometimes closing circles. That happens at play parties or social events. And when there is this shared journey that you're on, trust builds. Much less energy is spent in the forward front of your mind of shoulds, and much more can be surrendered and allowed. And it is in the surrender allowing place, the less thinking, more heart following, that we really tap in to the special stuff. It's when the real growth happens, when the real energy and inspiration that can only be accessed through allowing something to come through us. So as people are creating and preparing and participating in containers this week as part of digital burns and other experiences, I'm just really being thankful for all those that recognize the power of containers, and all those that honor them, and all those that play a role in making them sacred and making fertile spaces for us all to grow. In some ways, this moment right now, we are in a container that I feel so grateful to be in. The daily gratitude circles that I help to host, those are beautiful containers. Someone said today, like, I hope, I told myself I wouldn't cry. And we're like, well, you know that this place is definitely one where we encourage crying. We encourage, well, not, maybe encourage is the wrong word, but we encourage truth of heart. And the more you feel safe to be in your truth, express from your heart without trying to edit or control, that is when the real beauty happens. So thank you for being so beautiful. Thank you for letting me be me. I love you. Please check out my other videos where I share wisdom from the world, life, my grandfather, and Burning Man. I have a new book out called Protagonist that shares my very unique pink journey. I'd love to see you more through this YouTube channel, through my Facebook, let's just plan on crossing paths. Thank you.